We're at Mobile World Congress 2019 in Barcelona. I'm joined by Hemant Malik, who's the head of product line transport at Ericsson. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
Now, let's just kick off with what's here this year at Mobile World Congress 2019. What have you got on the pavilion? What demos you're showing? What great, exciting new things are on the floor this year from your group at Ericsson Networks?
Yeah, I think this year Mobile World Congress is all about 5G.
Yes.
Right? So what we are demonstrating is the network evolution to 5G. What are we doing differently in the network domain, whether it's a RAN network, whether it's a transport network, whether it's a core network, to enable 5G for our service provider customers. We are also actually showcasing a lot of innovation around 5G, as well as consumer use cases and experiences around 5G, and of course how artificial intelligence and automation can actually enable a lot of use cases and help our service provider customers to get the best TCO out of the market. So these are some of the few
there's some very big topics there.
Yes, but then if you go into the details of all, there's a whole lot of information, a whole lot of new things which we are launching. So I think exciting stuff.
Is indeed.
Seeing a lot of traction, yeah?
It is. Well, the big thing for me is that the theme for the whole year, as you said, was 5G's here. It's real, it's happening, it's been deployed. I heard now you've got not just 10, but 12 named clients as of today. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And another some 42 odd, which is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything, if you're a fan of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy out there. Plus, we heard your CEO yesterday refer to thousands of opportunities coming through with different interest in a whole range of things in all areas, which we're going to go into.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm really keen to talk about why transport is so important for 5G.
Yeah, so I think I would say transport has really become a very integral piece of the overall architecture, starting from 4G, advanced 4G, 4G plus, as well as now coming to 5G. Why it makes transport so important piece of the overall network is a few reasons. One is, if you look at the use cases, they are evolving a lot. We used to talk only about the enhanced mobile broadband, giving internet to the subscribers in the mobile devices. I think they are evolving from there to all the way up to remote surgeries. If you look at the IoT use cases, remote surgeries, automation of transportation, driverless cars, government to citizen services, as well as multitude of home devices management or appliance management. I mean, you can think of
touches everything, right?
Yeah. So we call it critical IoT or a massive IoT. So there will be use cases which need very high bandwidth, very low latency. And you have to have a network resources end-to-end to deliver that. Then there are going to be use cases which are more, transaction intensive, wherein I think there will be low bandwidth, but billions of devices, they're coming and interacting with the network. So to deliver experience for those kind of services, what you need is, you need a ubiquitous RAN coverage as well as the experience. So for RAN to go deeper into the network and have a ubiquitous coverage, you need a transport to connect. So I think transport becomes very important from that aspect. I think you need to cover a lot of ground for supporting not only the mobile broadband but other services as well.
It's the foundation in many ways.
Absolutely. So I think transport has to be there to connect everything. Now that is the user part. Now second is, I think we come to the network part. I mean, with this new architectures in the RAN, like DRAN, CRAN, ERAN, vRAN, we talk about, the radio functions are actually getting distributed. So there is a whole lot of control plane requirements of connecting them, which is actually user traffic plus a control plane traffic. So what it means essentially is that transport becomes an integral piece all the way for connecting various functions in the RAN, then in the transport itself, and then up to the core network. So I think you need to have a transport network which can actually work in complete harmony and synchronization with the RAN and core network to deliver the right experience. It would be not it would not be very I would say difficult to say that the experience would be as good as the weakest link in the whole chain. So I think their transport plays a very important role, and that's why it is so important.
It's huge. Now, you had an exciting launch with regard to a ubiquitous 5G story. What can you tell us about the launch itself, and what does that entail? What's the full story behind it?
Absolutely. So I think we launched the 5G transport itself somewhere in September last year in America. So I think what we are enhancing here is it's a ubiquitous 5G. What it means is, I think when operators they launch 5G, the transport network, as we discussed, is critical, but that has to be actually established beforehand so that when the radio network comes, it can be connected to some kind of transport network. And I think right now the focus, as you said, the new customers and the pipeline customers, I think the focus is on dense urban areas maybe to begin with. But then for extending the coverage, it has to go all the way semi-urban, rural, all sort of things. So I think that's where ubiquity of transport is coming into picture as well. So when we talk about those kind of scenarios, you need to understand that it will be fiber transport or it will be wireless transport.
Okay.
Which means the microwave. So microwave becomes a very critical component of communicating between the LAN and the core. So what we see is, and we forecast is based upon our annual microwave report is, microwave will still remain dominant transport mechanism, dominant transport access mechanism, so much so that 60 to 65% of the sites will still be connected with microwave.
Wow.
That's in the regular dense urban areas or urban areas. What happens to the rural areas? Then microwave becomes even more important. And I think as operators will start moving from dense urban to rural areas, they need that transport network. So keeping in mind what we are launching today is we are launching a new 6200 long haul microwave portfolio.
Okay.
What it does is it can actually help our service provider customers to carry low latency traffic all the way up to 35, 40 kilometers, even more than that, by delivering 10 Gbps of bandwidth, which is phenomenal. So I think if you look at, you don't have to deploy fiber such long distances on microwave. Time to market becomes really fast, and the TCO is very optimized as well. Then we understand with 5G what happens is you need more bandwidth in the radio sites as well. This is where the fiber as well as the regular traditional microwave or E-band solution, the short haul solution comes into the picture. So we are launching a new radio for carrier aggregation. And we are showcasing up to 20, 22 Gbps of bandwidth we can deliver for short haul microwave radios for the transport. I think that's phenomenal. We are launching some new hardware platforms to aggregate traffic between, let's say, various E-bands or traditional bands, so that operators can get best of both worlds of higher bandwidth from E-band and better uptime or better resiliency from the traditional band, and they can combine and deliver their services. Now, when we talk about such high bandwidths on the radio sites, you have to aggregate them somewhere.
Yes.
Now, to aggregate them, I think what we need is more of 100G interfaces. So we are launching a new routing platform, augmenting our existing router 6K platform with new 6273 platform, which is highly optimized to deliver 25G and 100G dense interfaces within a 3RU transport rack.
Per interface?
Yes.
Wow.
So it is around 2.4 terabit capacity in 3RU. So I think phenomenal bandwidth. I think a big leap in terms of delivering the capacity and reducing the cost per Gbps or per...
It's a quantum leap. It's above and beyond anything we've heard before.
Absolutely.
Where does this all fit in the Ericsson 5G platform? I mean, there are a number of questions that come up about what that full portfolio looks like. Where does this whole ubiquitous 5G component fit into the entire Ericsson 5G story?
Yeah. So I think one piece which I was mentioning in the ubiquitous 5G is a very dense front haul system as well.
Right.
When we talk about the fiber network, so what happens is, you need to run multiple services on a fiber, and fiber is an expensive infrastructure. So how you can conserve fiber, how you can put multiple services, convert them on a single fiber, that's where I think our front haul solution is coming in.
Okay.
We are delivering 1RU fiber front haul, which is having active passive, both integrating the DWDM transponder with the filter, so that today operators can have in 1RU integrate 18 services from the RAN perspective into single fiber. And then of course I talked about the router, and there is an optical layer below. What happens is we are coming up with an IP over DWDM card which integrates both the layers, so that the bandwidth which routing layer is catering towards L3 layer is catering to seamlessly, integrated with the optical layer from a same platform.
Okay.
So that from a service orchestration perspective, it looks as a one layer.
Yep.
And that brings down the TCO and of course faster time to market. So
and reduces the density of your environment out there as well, because you don't need a whole rack of infrastructure. You got it in a single IU.
Perfectly on point. And now coming back to the question on where the portfolio fits in. I think the portfolio is part of Ericsson radio system.
Okay.
The 5G platform. So it's a 5G, RAN. We call it RAN, and we call it RAN compute. Then we call it 5G transport. So it fits into overall 5G Ericsson radio system,
right,
which is managed by a common Ericsson network management platform from RAN all the way to core. And I think it's very optimized for the radio interfaces, different RAN interfaces, different bandwidth, different speeds. I think we preempt what radio is going to bring it, and we develop the transports accordingly, so that for our service partner it's a seamless solution end to end. So this is where it fits in, and I think we are seeing very good traction from our customers.
Ladies and gentlemen,
they want to look
Smart
at
Africa seminar is
sounds
about
amazing.
to start in 5 minutes.
So Mobile World Congress is an exciting event. It's a week long, lots of flashing lights, neat demos. Everyone performs magic for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But then the work really starts after the event, in my thoughts. Like you've got the year ahead. What comes next? What comes after Mobile World Congress? Where are you going with this next? How do you get it to the market? What are some of the conversations that are taking place?
Yeah.
Who's the early adopter spaces? Where are we going from here after Mobile World Congress in your space?
I think after this launch, we have seen a lot of excitement with our customers.
Mm-hmm.
Now is the time to actually go on and work on the real networks itself. So you go on the design levels, you go for the architectures, you look at the detailed network engineering, you work with your customers, you work with the service providers, how to evolve their network from where it is, how much new components will come in, how you can reuse the existing components, correct? And that's where this starts. And in that process, I think the technology is evolving, right? So you will come up with new requirements, and then we work on new products, we keep on working new solutions, augment some platforms, evolve the new platforms. So I think the work goes on. From here, I think what we see is we are so much capable of addressing 360-degree transport requirements, all the way from cell side, all the way to the core, our service provider customer. And I think now we will take up those engagements and how we can build on and deliver that into real networks on ground, delivering 5G services very efficiently and with the
Well, you've got a lot of work ahead of you.
Absolutely.
It's a new emerging market space. I mean, 5G is here.
Yeah.
You've got 12 named clients already rolling things out, another 42 under NDA, thousands with interest out in the market, as your CEO said. Yes. Well, congratulations on a fantastic show this year.
Thank you so much.
Mobile World Congress 2019 is hands down already a success before it's even over for you. And love learning about what you're doing in your space with Ericsson Networks, and really look forward to the next 12 to 18 months of how you're taking this market and what it makes available to us.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure coming here, and thanks for inviting me. It's great meeting you.
Indeed, likewise. Well, thanks for making time, and we look forward to catching up again soon.
Sure.
Cheers.
We'll see you later.